Okay, so what am I doing? Singing a little song there. Well, I'm not really singing, am I? I don't know the words. I write them sometimes. Okay, so kind of losing. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to do a demonstration of ecological garbage transformation. So what I've got here is genuine garbage. Okay, so what you want to do is say you have this this box. Okay, so you buy something and it comes in a box and it's got plastic around the inside. So what you do is you open that box up into a cardboard. So you have your this is like a piece of bread paper, and then you take paper that's not gonna plastic that's not biodegradable, and you lay it on top of this, right? Then you take this and you make big sheets of this stuff, and you stack these sheets. So you do it in mass production of all the garbage that you have out there. This is then laid down on some ground where it's a little bit dry. Maybe you want something to grow that's going to be really healthy, that's going to grow there long term. Permanent, sort of what they call permaculture. So you have this. So you put this vapor barrier, this paper, and this plastic paper just gives strength to the plastic so that it survives the trip and never gets sun on the plastic. The sun will decay the plastic, the vapor barrier. So you put this on the ground and you cover it with dirt by digging a hole right next to it. So you dig this hole that goes right next to here. You put all this leaves in there, all this stuff that might become a forest fire. And you could also put organic waste in there, not necessarily meat, but like, food scraps, like bread, not meat. It's not meat because that was like, that's for animals, basically. Animals love meat. Birds also love bread, so they're like the sweepers of the earth, so they go around and sweep everything up. So they're like a good little helper, and they sing a song, so that's good. You don't want so many that you're going cuckoo, but, Okay, so you make this vapor barrier, and you cover it, and you can plant some sort of valuable tree. Now this is the other one. This is a food tray, right? So we've all seen these food trays. We buy all kinds of stuff. Here's another one. This one's for some vegetables. And so basically, they need to design these so that the form inside, they need to be redesigned so that they actually funnel water. So if you were to put this outside, say next to a tree, some kind of shrub, that the water would automatically funnel into a central point, maybe in one corner, and then all the dew that falls, or light rain or heavy rain, would all funnel into that central point, and then you simply drill a little hole into this hardened place. You don't want it to be dripping before you put the hole in it, so you want to have a little stamp and you punch that little hole in there, and so that would make sure the tray has a second life, and it's funneling water to where it's most needed, because water is is precious commodity, and if you have a tree, you have shade, you have the good life then with the quality tree growing there. Now, I want to explain, and it is difficult to do this, but if you have a concept, or someone else has a concept as well, it's a little easier this way, to draw a picture, to draw an actual flow chart of that concept. So here's an example of what I will do, and it's like art for me in general is it's like math homework. It's like really painful to do. If there was a test and everyone was there, it's sort of like a competition or something like that, then it's a little more fun. So this is, to do these, take some kind of stimulation, but basically doing a flow chart the scales are the most basic representation of logic. Now the word rhetoric has definitely a bad rap, because a lot of times people are simply rapping. They're trying to say, oh, I need this, I need $1 billion, you know, sort of that's the rhetorical rap. But if you have a discovery and it's not easy to prove because it deals with people, then you must find a famous case study and say, look at this famous case study. These are the qualities that this person has and the situation that they are in, and compare that to your common case study. And then basically, so this picture right here, like I said, you know, the scales are the most, because justice is blind, they say. So the scales, you're holding the scales in. They tell the truth in a way that's much more straightforward. So you have, I'm standing on my knees here. So you have to balance things out and prove that with the famous case study. So this is something that people can relate to. It's not like blah 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 blah. You're being to the point. You know, you're something everyone recognizes, and then the scales, which even the blind recognize. Okay, okay, you can, you know when things are lined up, because so drawing a picture. And I wish I had more. So I sort of lack stimulation to draw representative flowcharts. But this is really important for everyone to do. If you have any valuable stimulation, people, someone who's telling you something, and you have a piece of paper, you write it out. This is really important, and it helps if you're outside, because you don't want to get boxed in. You want to. The flowchart is like a spectrum, an atomic spectrum. So, you know, you look at your bubble chamber. That's like the ultimate boxed-in thing. And it's like you're dealing with intense particles, but the paper is the flowchart, and the writing is the frequency, and you know. Mapping that stuff out, so putting the scales, the frequency, sort of actual in physical terms, and adding words on the side. So this goes back to the ancient sort of Greek sort of rhetoric, you know, the Greek logic, algebra, that goes before Greece. The West, really, there's the history of the ancient West really deals with how before Rome was discovered, before Britain was discovered, before, you know, Greece was sort of this, you know, the Nile and stuff like that, and it kind of got, you know, it fell apart because basically normalcy was not an issue for the pharaohs. Slavery was the issue. They wanted slaves. They didn't care about normalcy. So, and then geography. So you know, the Middle East sort of, you know, it's difficult to say, you know, who is, you know, the was that the Dark Ages, when things were so cold that it was like when they woke up it was like New York City. That's, you know, or the Mongolian horde came through, and, you know, or Napoleon came through and did all this stuff. And then people are like, California, laughing at the wrong time. People want to laugh at California. They want to, you know, the Beastie Boys are always making, that was the idea, that California was this great joke. But, you know, look at these fools over here. They're suckers, you know. They're mostly aliens, ultra aliens, with no history, and just kind of. And then there's an example of well, I'll come back with this one. I'll hopefully write it in the the headlines are. So, yeah, work on these flowcharts and this technology to basically to recycle everything, but particularly society in normalcy and disassembling slavery. That this is like our addiction that we must systematically understand from the picture and then balance out. So this is really crucial for global peace and civility and everything. Okay, it's the unity, the unified social theory, like from the atom to the heart, to society. Okay, so that you really make it. Thanks.